Today we're talking all about filters. Well, special effects filters are fun tools that you can use to instantly give your images a more creative aesthetic. You just put them right onto your lens, and just like that, your images already have a different kind of feel to it. Today we're specifically talking about filters from Cinepacks. So they sent some to me and I took some time to use them on multiple projects and just see how it worked in my actual workflow and see how I liked using them, and here are my thoughts. So today we're specifically talking about their streak filter and their soft filter. So filters screw onto your lens, but sometimes we have different lenses with different focal lengths and sizes. They do offer step up or step down rings. For example, this is a 77, but I want to use it for my 35mm, which is actually a 67. So I use their step down ring to put on the 77, and now I'm able to put it on to my 67. And now I'm able to shoot with it on my 35. So let's talk about the soft filter. Soft filters are nice to use to create a dreamy and vintage look to your images. My only issue with these filters is that sometimes when I've used them before, it's just kind of too strong or not strong enough. So thankfully they have a half soft and a full soft filter that I'm trying out that allows me to basically choose between how much of the effect that I want. And if I want to go really crazy, I can just actually screw them both onto each other, and then I have a very intense effect. Soft filters are beneficial because our cameras are very sharp and they can offer very crisp images, and obviously we spend a lot of money on our cameras and we want it to do that, but sometimes you don't always want that effect. Sometimes to get things a little more cinematic or dreamy, using a soft filter is a great way to start to create a more stylized image. So now let's talk about the clear streak filter. Just like the name implies, it creates streaks of light. Basically, when you point your camera at a source of light, it'll just kind of stretch out the light and create these really cool like streaks of light. I enjoyed bringing this filter around at nighttime. I took it to Grand Central Market in downtown LA, and there's so many like neon lights happening at nighttime, and you could clearly see the filter in effect. It was actually cool to use it when I saw like cars passing by, so maybe I would use it for different like car shots for music videos or something like that. What's cool about this filter is that you can actually turn the front of the filter so you can direct the streak of light. In some scenarios where there was like a ton of light, it was just kind of overkill and a little bit distracting. But in other situations, it was far more subtle when there was like less light, so there was less streaks of light. I don't want it to overpower my shot, but just add a little subtlety to make something a little more artistic. So what do you think? What would you use a streak filter for? Do you like the effect that it's giving? To take the filter a little further, I wanted to use it in this scenario that I've actually been wanting to try for a while, which is bringing a model to the top of a mountain. And you guys know me, I'm so obsessed with using a circle of light. And so I shined a circle of light straight down outdoors. It was my first time using the effect outdoors. And then you have all these flickering lights in the far background, and like I said before, the streak was kind of like overkill in certain scenarios, but this one was so perfect because it was just creating these subtle streaks of light in the far distance, and it was flickering and glowing, and it looked really beautiful. And I had our model Simon just kind of move around in the space for a video test, and I really enjoyed this setup. I was actually kind of surprised to see that the streaks were showing up on his face too. Usually I was noticing the effect happen when it was more from a direct light source, but on the spots that were a little more overexposed or super bright on his body, the streaks were kind of showing up on his face too, which actually was kind of interesting. And yeah, I think I like it. And then I went back and actually put on the soft filter and took some photos of him. The only thing when using filters is that you really got to commit to it when you put it on, because it's not something that you can take it on and off physically, but you can't really take the effect off when it comes to editing. So make sure you want to use the filter and that style for whatever you're going for in your shoot, or honestly, I'll just use some with it, use some without it, because it's not something that I can take off in editing. If you haven't used a filter before, I highly recommend you give it a shot, because you can make images that you probably didn't know you can make without them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you're new here, consider subscribing, like, comment, do you like filters? Which ones do you prefer? Which scenarios would you use them? If you're interested in Cinepacks, I'll leave their info in the description. And with that, thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video.